Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. It's freezing in the studio today, hence the joggy bottoms and the hoodie. But hopefully after today's warm up, I'm going to be nicely warm and I'll be back in a t-shirt and shorts. Now, speaking of warm up, we're only going to do a 5-minute warm up today before what's going to be quite a tough workout. So if you want to do some light rowing now while I describe today's workout, please do, just to make sure that you're properly warm before we start. Because today what we're going to do is we're going to work on power. Up until now, my shorter rows have all been about really kind of like building your fitness and your time on the machine. And every time I have looked into power, it's always been like a tiny little kind of taster of power before just going back into a low intensity row. But today we're focusing on power. And what we're going to do is 1 minute max power at 20 strokes a minute. So that's putting everything you can into the stroke 20 times for a minute. Then we're going to take 1 minute easy. You can row at whatever pace you want at that point. You can even stop if you wish. And then we're going to do 1 minute at that 20 strokes a minute full power again. And we're basically just going to keep on repeating this for 20 minutes in total, finishing on 1 minute nice and easy to cool down. Okay, so that's what today's session is. And what I want to say is the most important thing here is that those 1 minute full power are the parts where you really work hard. So the second minute, the backing off one, if you have to completely stop and back off in order to be able to hit that next 1 minute really hard again, then please do. That's the most important part of today's session. Hopefully that made sense. So we are going to get into a 5-minute warm-up, but we need to set up our machines first. Now on an RowAlong, set your resistance to where you would normally set it. Now I would kind of on a basic row, I'd have it run about 10, and my warm-ups run about 10, and that's where I'm going to set it for the warm-up. You have the option to bump it up for the main row if you wish, and that's entirely up to you. If you're using the Concept 2 with the RowAlong app, then set your drag factor in the warm-up to wherever you would normally be. And again, if you want to bump it up slightly for the main row, please do. But the guide for everybody is that you want to find a setting here where you're connected nicely to the machine, you feel the stroke, you feel the power going into the machine, but you don't have to heave against it. The moment you have to break down your technique and heave against the stroke is when things start to get a little bit in terms of injury and stuff, okay? So find your correct resistance and then that's where to have it, all right? So lecture over. Next up, let's go to the foot straps and set them at a height where you're able to come into the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position comfortably. If you're set with your feet too high, it can get a little bit tricky to get there. If you're set with your feet too low, you can go past that vertical position, your backside scoots away from underneath you, and you lose a bunch of power. A good rule of thumb here is that the strap covers the balls of your feet, which is usually run about the bottom lace in your shoe. And then you can start from that point and adjust up or down from there for your own comfort, okay? Right. So, like I said, 5-minute warm-up. We're going to start this off at a nice gentle pace for the first minute, just lightly rowing, just as connecting enough with your feet into your arms. It's like I say, it's just like standing up out of a squat for this first minute, just to get your body moving. And then we'll increase a little bit for 2 minutes, do 2 minutes worth of drills, and then we'll be ready for the main session. Okay. Right then, let's get going in 3, 2, 1. And we're off. Okay, right. So warm-up, 20 strokes per minute. And all I want you to do is connect your feet to your hands. And what that means is that you push your feet into the machine at the same time you feel the handle connect to the machine. And by connect, I mean when you feel the weight of the stroke increase, okay? Hopefully you get what I mean when I say connect. But you want to push with your feet at the same time you feel that tension into your hands. Now what's going to help here is if you have a forwards tilt to the front of the machine with straight arms. And that is vital. A backwards tilt pretty much always takes care of itself, just as a recoil. But a nice forwards tilt to 1 o'clock at the front of the machine. And now that we're 1 minute into this warm-up, I want you to increase the pressure just a little bit from your legs. Okay, just push a little bit harder. Make sure to have that forwards tilt and arms straight as you push your legs into the machine. Because remember, in rowing, your power control is from your legs, okay? How hard you push with your legs is how much power you're putting into the machine. Your arms really are about being conduits of power into the machine. Yes, you do pull in at the back of the stroke, but for the majority of the stroke, it's about getting the power from your legs into your arms. Okay, so we've got 1 more minute of warm-up rowing, and what you're looking for intensity-wise is to be out of breath right now, or finding it harder to breathe, but you should be able to get out a few words. Maybe it's a little bit tougher than a conversation pace where you're able to talk all the way throughout, but your heart rate should be up at around about 60 to 70% of max. And you should feel like you're putting some effort into the machine here, but not so much that it feels hard. I know it's a little bit of a woolly way to put it, but okay, so we're going to move into 2 minutes worth of drills next. However, if you want to carry on rowing in order to make sure you're properly warmed up, please do. So being warm is more important. So put 1 foot on the ground and then continue to row with 1 leg strapped in to the machine. And this is going to help with your forwards rock, getting your slide forwards to shins vertical. So if you are continuing to row properly here, what I want you to concentrate on is how far forwards you're sliding and that hip rock forwards and backwards. Let's swap feet. Okay, continue rowing. Because although this drill is really useful for opening your hips up and this rock backwards and forwards, I do understand that your heart rate will be starting to come down at this stage, and maybe you're more interested in getting nice and warm before today's main session. So put your foot back in, so both feet are strapped in, and we're going to keep our legs straight and row with our back and arms. So swing over your back, pull in your arms, out with your arms, and then rock forwards. Again, if you're rowing properly, then just concentrate on this phase of the stroke to make sure that you are swinging with your back, pulling with your arms, out with your arms, then rocking forwards again. 1 more here, and then let's get into the front of the stroke. Forwards tilt, straight arms, and whoop, just push out. Apparently I didn't strap that foot in properly. I'll just keep going. So try, really concentrate on holding this forwards tilt at the front, okay? Nice straight arms. Let the power go up through your body, into your arms and into the machine. You're not pulling from the front at all. Let's just take 1 more here as we hit 5 minutes. So that's the warm up. Now, of course, if you want to have a quick drink, continue to do some light rowing just to make sure that you don't cool down at all before the main session, please do. Otherwise, just move up and down the rail and I'll quickly describe 1 more time what it is we're doing today. Okay then, so I've gone for a halfway point. The hoodie's off, but the joggies are still on. Let's hope I don't overheat. Right, just so you know, I've increased the resistance from 10 during the warm-up to 12 for this main row. Now, you can do the same, or if you're in a concept 2, you can increase your drag factor a tiny bit, but only if it doesn't affect your technique. If you suddenly find you're having to heave against the stroke, pulling early and swinging your back too soon, then that's not the right thing to do, okay? Increasing the resistance or whatever can only be done if you still maintain a good technique. Get that good stroke into you first before starting to kind of adjust the machine to kind of hack how you're working at it, all right? So today's workout is going to be 20 minutes long. We're going to do 1 minute, 20 strokes a minute, full power, but holding 20 strokes a minute. Then we're going to take 1 minute easy, and we're just going to repeat that 10 times over. 20 minutes is done. The one thing to say is this very first 1 minute, if you want to take the first 2 strokes a little bit lighter, just to get the flywheel moving, it'll protect your lower back, because starting that first stroke from dead can be quite kind of forceful into your lower back. So if you have any lower back problems, take the first 2 strokes easy to get the flywheel moving, then we'll get into it, all right? Are you ready? I feel like I'm flanneling before the start. So hopefully you've had a drink and you're ready to go on this. So let's get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So 1 stroke every 3 seconds. And remember, the power comes from the push of your legs at the front of the stroke. So slide in, shins vertical, arms straight, and then push the machine away with your feet. And what you should find is that as you push your legs into the machine, your backside will feel slightly lighter on the seat, and you'll really feel high tension of your arms hanging off the handle. 3 more to go. I'm down at 1:37 pace on the Aviron. Right, so let's just take it down a bit. So I'm easing down to like 5 out of 10 intensity. I'm now at 1:54 pace on the Aviron. And the reason I keep saying on the Aviron is just so that it's a different way of calculating pace. If you're sitting on a Concept 2 right now going, crikey, is he rowing at 1:37 pace? Just the way this calculates pace. But it doesn't matter, it's the difference between the working and the resting that matters. And don't worry about holding my pace. If you're faster than me, don't slow down. Okay, 2 more strokes. 1 more. And now we're back into full power, okay? So push with the legs. Really think about that forwards tilt and straight arms. Really, the forwards tilt is one of the most lost parts of rowing, where, like I said in the warm-up, the lean back pretty much takes care of itself. Most people lean back, but this forwards rock to a 1 o'clock position is something that a lot of people need to work on, and especially need to work on holding as they push their legs into the machine. Last one here. Let's ease off to 5 out of 10 pace. That warm-up pace, not even as fast as you were going in the 3rd minute of the warm-up. I just want you to keep the machine going. Make sure your muscles are moving. You'll hopefully find your happy pace here. What you don't want to be doing, like what's going to be a waste of time, is going too fast on these sections, and then you're too tired to go fast when you're meant to go fast. Right, 3 more strokes to go. 2 more. Last one here. Let's go back to full power. So push with the legs. Push. And I know in today's row, I'm likely to be a little bit drier in my chat, talking technique mostly, especially at the start here. But that's because it's so important to get your body positions right here, getting the power in fully, but also safely. Technique is about power, it's about efficiency, but it's also about injury prevention. And so that forwards tilt and straight arms really helps from an injury prevention point of view. Right, down to nice and easy again. Whew. That's us a quarter of the way through today's row. Don't think anybody sang a song about being a quarter of the way there. Make sure on these easy minutes to still keep rowing with a proper technique. Don't just ease off and flail up and down the rail like a beached salmon. Still think hands away, body rock, then knees bend. Hands come past the knees before they bend. Okay? Keep those arms straight as you push your legs in. 2 more strokes here. 1 more. Right, here we go. And keep an eye on what kind of pace that you're rowing at now. Because 3 intervals in, you're likely to be properly warmed up by now. And although your muscles might be starting to show the first signs of fatigue, fatigue's annoying, isn't it? Whatever pace you're now rowing at, this is kind of the one I want you to continue rowing at for the rest of the workout. Obviously, with the rest periods or the easy periods, which is coming up after here. So back, off, easier. So my speed on the last one was 142. So I have eased off a little bit after the initial interval. And I'm now at 156 for these easy intervals. And this is what I want to hold. I want to be 142 or faster for the main part. So you hold whatever your pace was or faster. And then I want to be around about 156 for these easy minutes. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's quickly remind technique as we go full power again. So forwards tilt, arms straight at the front, only slide until your shins are vertical. It may help you to think about keeping your heels on the foot plates if you have a tendency to go past vertical. Nothing wrong with your heels coming up, but if that's because you're going past shins vertical, then there is a problem with it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy for a minute. Still hold 20 strokes a minute, and notice how really your technique is exactly the same. The rhythm is pretty much the same. Your drive speed is slower on these easy rows, but you're still flowing through the stroke. So legs, body, arms, arms, body, legs. Just because you're rowing slower doesn't mean you take your eye off the technique ball. That's not a ball that many people would go to, is it? Get dressed up, how it's all about technique. I'm going home. 2 more. 1 more. Okay, so that's 10 minutes done. Let's get back into power for a minute. And if anything else, hopefully you'll agree that that first 10 minutes absolutely flew by. Just by breaking the row down into 1 minute chunks, one hard and then one easy, which you'll be looking forward to. Time just drips away in a row like this. Make sure to keep your pace up. I'm still 142. I'm still pushing with the legs. Forwards tilt, arms straight, only pull at the back of the stroke. One more. Just take it easy. And for this minute, got bad habit of dropping my T's sometimes, sorry. Let's think about posture. I want you to be sitting up on your sit bones as you come in to the front of the machine. Your tailbone should not be tucked underneath you. And this should help you get into that powerful posture and that tilt forwards into the front of the machine. If you're just up on your sit bones, pivoting forwards and backwards as you row. Okay, 2 more. 1 more. Let's go back to the power. Power. And that posture thing is really important here. If you have a good posture, powerful up on your sit bones, as you push your legs into the machine, then that's how that force travels up through your posterior chain, up through your back, shoulders, arms, and then with your fingers just hooked over the handle, that's how the power just floods into the machine, and how you can really feel your legs press that accelerating power in. 1 more. Let's ease off again. Because if you miss that connection with a poor posture, or by not pushing hard with your legs, or even by pulling too soon with your arms, then you'll lose that kind of surge feeling of the power just flooding into the machine. Because it really is acceleration of power. You get into the front, you push hard, and then it's like a curve of power that goes in. Okay, let's take 2 more, and then nice and full powery again. Here we go. Full powery is a word, don't laugh at me. So make sure, slide forwards, shins vertical, no more than that, and then hold that forwards tilt as you push the machine away from you with your feet. So lean swing, lean swing, lean swing, okay? So you really do hold that forwards tilt and straight arms, and let your legs do the majority of the work through your stroke. Let's take 1 more. All right, nice and easy. 3/4 of the way there now. So we've only got 5 minutes to go, and that actually just means 2 more hard efforts, and then we're done. And hopefully, if you have been working on pushing with your legs alongside trying to do the technique things I've been talking about, if you are just building up your experience on the rowing machine, possibly on my Zero to Hero collection, then this will be the first time you've really guns the power into the machine. 2 more. 1 more. All right, and let's push the machine away. Push with your legs. Really do think about that, of pushing it through the wall or whatever is in front of you. Maybe you're at a gym and there's somebody on a treadmill in front of you. Think about pushing this machine into the treadmill. Maybe you're at home in the basement. Try and think about pushing your machine through the wall. I mean, both cases don't actually. If you find you're getting close to the treadmill or the wall, maybe stop and move the machine back. 3, 2, 1 more. 1. Take it easy. Because if you can think about pushing the machine away from you rather than pulling on the handle, or worse, just trying to get your body to the back of the machine quick, then by focusing on pushing the machine away, your body's more inclined to stay in this kind of primed forwards tilt, arms straight position as you power into it. Like if you've ever been to the gym and done deadlifts, that's kind of what you're doing at the beginning of the stroke here, is a deadlift. Planting your heels and pushing into the ground, or foot plates in this case. 2 more. 1 more. Here we go with our last power minute. Power. So really do think about pushing. Push. Then if you can complement that push away of the machine by, at the back of the stroke, pointing your toes towards the front of the machine, that will help you if you're the kind of person that needs to stop themselves with the foot straps or pull themselves forwards with the foot straps, both of which you don't need to do. Certainly at 20 strokes a minute, you should be able to row with your feet out of the straps. Take 1 more here. In fact, you keep rowing. Keep rowing. Don't stop because I've stopped. Right. Hang on, if I get back into time with you. Right. If you're 20 strokes a minute, we should now be in time with each other again. And you can see both my feet are out with the straps. And not only am I not falling off the back of the machine at the back of the stroke, I'm also not beached back there. Because if I was the kind of person that relied on tugging myself forwards with the foot straps, I'd be stuck. But because I let my arms away in the body rock create momentum to send me forwards, all I have to do is bend my knees to recover. Ta-da! 20 minutes done. Now, keep on rowing lightly if you wish. If you want a longer cool down, I'll try and say goodbye as quick as I can. So, hopefully you enjoyed that. It was definitely, should have been hopefully a focus of power for you. That's one to come back to, okay? Especially if you're on your journey, increasing your power and your time on the rowing machine, then maybe do the next couple of workouts in the Zero to Hero series, and then come back to that one again and keep on coming back to it, because this is the one that it will really give you a chance to work on that sensation of power, of technique and power. So if you felt like you just weren't connecting there at all, then spend some time working on your technique, thinking about pushing this machine away with your legs, holding that forward tilt and straight arms as you push your legs in, and really feel that surge of power going in. And then you'll hopefully notice that you're going faster on the machine and you'll get that sensation. So use this one as a testing tool to come back to time and time again in order to see how your power is increasing when you're rowing, all right? So thank you so much for being part of this one and joining me. I do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave me some kind of comment anywhere you wish, whether it's the RowAlong Facebook group or in the RowAlong group or in the Concept 2 group or wherever, or even on my RowAlong community. Entirely up to you. It'd just be lovely if you said hello. And of course, if you're going to post on socials, you can use a hashtag, and we're just going to be 20 power, okay? 20 power, because that's what it was today. 20 minutes worth of working on our power. So thanks once again for joining me. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, be well, bye-bye.